survivor. On January 14th, January 17th of 13, I had just parked my truck and I was waiting to cross the street to go to primary school with 2 other classmates. There was a car accident and one of the cars came and hit me and the other students, and I was severely injured. I was non-responsive on the scene, and yeah.
So Lauren was taken to the ER at Swedish Hospital, and she was assessed with multiple life-threatening injuries, the most severe of which was a swelling of the brain, and we knew immediately that she had a very severe traumatic brain injury. Lauren was placed on a ventilator. She was placed on a feeding tube. And she remained in a coma for 5.5 weeks in the ICU. And Lauren's slow emergence from a coma isn't anything like what Hollywood portrays. Her left eye was barely starting to open, her left fingers were barely starting to move. And at that time, we only had Lauren's physical body in front of us, but we didn't have our daughter. And in early March, Lauren was deemed ready to be out of immediate danger and transferred to a long-term acute care facility, an LTAC, for the purpose of weaning her off the ventilator, which was supporting her. And after 30 days, she finally was weaned off the ventilator and could start to breathe on her own. Craig Hospital sent a couple of their admissions people over and said, yes, we'll take her. And that was the first time we really had hope that Lauren had gone from fighting for her life to her recovery. And that date was April 3rd of 2013, exactly 12 years ago today. Wow. So when Lauren was admitted to Craig Hospital, she still wasn't able to talk. She wasn't able to communicate in any way with us. She was on a feeding tube. She didn't express any emotion. She didn't respond to any commands. And because she wasn't able to communicate, we didn't even know if she knew who we were. You could say that the lights were on, but nobody was home. At Craig Hospital, the wonderful team of doctors and therapists and technicians immediately set up a very aggressive plan for Lauren's rehabilitation. And it involved daily physical therapy, speech therapy, occupational therapy. And there wasn't much happening at first, but slowly over time, Lauren started to show little signs of improvement. And that was a wonderful experience for us. And her most challenging therapies were her physical therapies. But day by day, she started to get a little better, and a little better, and a little better. And we strived to learn everything we could learn about traumatic brain injury. We didn't know anything about TBIs. And we learned about a phenomenon called neuroplasticity, which is the brain's miraculous ability to heal itself, but it would be accelerated through targeted therapies. So we immersed ourselves in learning about TBIs. And after 10 weeks at Craig Hospital, Lauren finally uttered her first word. And after 13 weeks at Craig, she was finally, Dr. Weintraub said, time for her to go home. And we said, what? How can we possibly care for our daughter skipping your spot here, I'm kind of ad-libbing, but Holly, who you see up on the screen, was Lauren's occupational therapist. And she knew that Lauren liked to do art in high school. She made jewelry and things. So Holly thought it would be wonderful for Lauren to incorporate art in so that she could start to use her right hand again. Because up until then, she had contractures in her right side and she wasn't able to move her hand at all. And so I lost my place a little bit. Just who I am. But after 10 weeks, after she started speaking, we finally knew that she recognized us. These were little mile markers along her journey. And she suffered from apraxia and aphasia. And it was still difficult to assess where she was cognitively. The only emotion that she was showing at that time was frustration. And I think she even took a swipe at her speech therapist. But because of insurance limitations, we had to finally leave. And but Craig did a wonderful job of training us, teaching us how we could be Lauren's caregiver at home. And we were terrified. But we learned. And she wasn't able to communicate still when we got her home. She was still on a feeding tube. She was incontinent. She was, at best, in a wheelchair. And her memory and her cognitive abilities were very diminished and impaired. But Lauren finally came home to us on July 3rd, 5.5 months after being hospitalized. 3 different facilities. And she began receiving daily in-home therapy, speech, occupational, physical therapy at home. And then when they weren't there, we were doing it. And so we shared in her journey, but her fatigue issues kept her from going back to Craig to participate in their programs. So we did a lot at home for about 1.5 years. In August of that year, one day Lauren's brain just said, "Time to eat." So she had a bowl of Honey Nut Cheerios. And she never looked back. But they kept the feeding tube in for about 3 weeks, just to make sure. But to see her eat again, to see her move her right arm again, to see her start to smile again, her emotions and her laughter. She was still childlike in a lot of ways, and the post-amnesia condition continued for about another 12 months. Thankfully, she doesn't remember any of this, only what we've told her.
So I'll pick up the story when we were able to return to Craig Hospital. So this is when it gets really exciting. In the spring of 2015, Lauren's in-home PT felt that she was now ready to enter into Craig's outpatient rehab program. This was excellent advice, as Lauren was able to use equipment at Craig, such as the AlterG and the C-Mill. The AlterG and the C-Mill have played huge roles in helping Lauren regain independent walking at home and in safe environments. However, she still uses her walker when out in public for extra support and safety. Lauren worked very hard for 4 years to achieve her goal of walking independently again. Lauren still uses the AlterG and the C-Mill at Craig during her workout sessions at the Peak Gym, and she goes there every Wednesday. In addition to therapy equipment at Craig, we learned and participated in many other activities and events such as Pedal for Possible and Living Well with Brain Injury. We also began to participate in Craig's Therapeutic Outpatient Recreation Group, or TREC for short. The TREC group would plan activities and outings outside of the hospital led by a Craig recreational therapist. These activities gave Lauren and us the confidence to re-enter the community, even with a challenging disability. The TREC group holds monthly meetings to plan new activities. The meetings provide opportunities to develop executive functioning skills like teamwork, planning, goal setting, decision-making, scheduling, strategizing, communication, and initiation. Being a part of the T-REC group has provided opportunities for us to encourage each other, support, educate, and share in our challenges and accomplishments as we continue our individual journeys. It is so exciting to watch physical, emotional, and cognitive healing in our traumatic brain injury survivors, and also emotional healing in the loved ones that also participate in the group, me being one of them. As a group, we were excited for the opportunity to contribute to this year's art auction. So the two that we did as a group are on the wall over there to the left. They're hanging on the wall over here. And those are the two that our group participated in together. We are all of us in the group, are passionate about giving back to Craig because of the hope and support Craig has provided to each of us. These two projects have allowed all of us to be equal partners, whether we are TBI survivors or caregivers. The wonderful thing about art is that its creativity has no boundaries. We were able to contribute equally. Our group projects are entitled The Broken Man Made Whole and From Mind to Heart. One of the statements describing From Mind to Heart conveys the spirit of our T-REC group perfectly. The hearts show that through love, creativity, and connection, we can rise beyond injuries to something more meaningful. And we've all come together within this group, and we've seen each other just bloom. And maybe we had to shift gears a little bit as to what our goals were, but each and every one of us have found purpose in life again. Lauren was initially encouraged to create art from her OT, Holly, to help get movement back to her right arm. But Lauren has received many other benefits from art beyond just the physical aspect. Creating artwork has helped Lauren with self-initiation, goal setting, decision-making, relaxation, and patience. With creativity comes a sense of accomplishment and pride. Through art, Lauren has also found a way to give back to Craig Hospital and reignite her passion for helping others, which is why she wanted to become a paramedic in the first place. Within the last year, Lauren and I have become peer mentors at Craig Hospital. We are able to visit new inpatients and their families, share our stories of overcoming challenges, and provide hope for better days ahead. Lauren has also given some of her paintings to inpatients whom she has come to know.
I had wanted to become a paramedic so I could help people in their greatest times of needs. I cannot be a paramedic anymore, but I still want to help people to give them hope and seeing that there's better days and better days ahead.
Today, we began our journey of hope and recovery. Craig Hospital and the Foundation have provided much more than rehabilitation services. Craig continues to offer means of recovery, quality of life, and purpose for a future for hundreds of, probably thousands of TBI survivors and spinal cord injury survivors. Thank you to everyone at Craig for all you've done for Lauren and our family. As we've come to know, it's all of our journeys. It's just, we're all on the TBI journey. Craig Hospital truly is a place of unyielding determination. And thank you all for being here this evening. Your generous support is what keeps Craig available to so many in their greatest time of need and for years to come.
There's so much in every one of